Well, hey guys, welcome back. Thorzax here, and wanted to have a little bit of an unboxing, and I wanted to go over a few things. Guys, I know I just put out a video about, selecting a handgun, and that was more or less geared for, people that are interested in, involving themselves with competitive sports. There's nothing wrong with going out and buying handguns out of the case. And do they possess accuracy? Yeah, they do. So kind of like, I guess what I'm trying to say is don't judge a book by its cover. And, that might sound like I'm backsliding a little bit, but sometimes you'd be surprised, what kind of accuracy you can get from a pistol that you just, went out and bought. Anyway, one dilemma that I've been facing is I've got an absolute ton of 9mm, and 9mm was never really my favorite choice of rounds. The reason why I got into 9mm was because of the economy of the whole thing. I mean, it's very, very cheap round to shoot, and it's the most prolific. I mean, you can find it anywhere. Brass, if you go to Sage, he's on Facebook, and you go to him and you can get 500 cases of once fired brass for $9. I mean, that's cheaper than primers. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it's a very cheap round to start off with, and I mean, you can get a lot of shooting out of 9mm, and very cheaply. So anyway, I got a little bit of an unboxing I want to do today, and I want to go through a few things here. Okay, 5906, excellent gun, stainless steel construction, a little bit heavy for packing around with you, but this gun is built as a duty sidearm, police, and very accurate, out to about 15 yards or so. And the sights, this is fixed sights. Guys, I'm telling you something, I'm not a real big fan of fixed sights. I mean, it's kind of like buying a car without a steering wheel. I could change that out or whatever, but the bottom line is this is a defensive pistol. This is a defensive pistol. 15 yards, 7 yards. That's what you're going to use this gun for, and it does. It shoots low. So if I shoot it at 25 yards, I actually have to cover the bowl, and then I don't have any reference, where my front sight is. So it's one of those things where it's a great gun, wonderful gun. Guess what? It doesn't do it for me at distance. So anyway. And another thing too, I don't want to abuse this gun by, putting 1,000,000 9mm rounds through it. I mean, I plan on having this a while, and I want to take it easy on it. Like I said, excellent gun, no magazine, no round in the chamber, okay? But, you got your double action, and it just goes right over to single action, and you just finish out your shots. You can get 17 round magazines for these. They're available. And to tell you the truth, I picked this gun up for a song. I mean, it was less than $300. I mean, and it's a great gun. I mean, it's built to take it. I mean, this is something that you're not gonna have to do a lot to, or have to experience any, real major malfunctions with it. It cycles just everything I put through it. Anyway, so enough about the 5906. And the unboxing. Now those of you out there that recognize this blue, it's a Beretta. And this here is the 92 AF, or the military version of that is the M9. And this particular gun was made in Italy. Now, I don't know what the difference is, but it seems to me that the pistols that were made in Italy are a little bit more desirable than the ones that are made here in the States. There's conjecture out there that the Italians are worried about losing their jobs to the Americans, so they build a better pistol than what's produced here in the United States. And, to tell you the truth, I don't believe any of that. I just think that, to each his own. Anyway, so here it is. I bought this gun used, walked into the gun shop, and there it was. It was sitting in the bottom of the case. There were two other ones that were brand new. Still had the Beretta, tag hanging off of it and all that. They wanted like $625 for the brand new ones. And I picked up the brand new ones, and I went through the little test of, feeling the trigger and shaking them around a little bit and, filling the hood, making sure that, you got good lockup and all that other stuff. And I asked to see this one. And so the guy, reached down and he pulled it out of the case. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. Just because it's not new doesn't mean that it's not good. All I did, the first thing that I did when I got the pistol out, she's unloaded, okay, no magazine in it, okay, is I take my thumb, okay, and I put it against the trigger, against the hammer, and I squeeze until it releases. Now that's one of the things that I do when I'm checking out guns. I want to check out the trigger quality on it, and this had a better trigger than the brand new ones. The brand new ones was like 9 miles of burner road, man. I mean, it was like, oh boy. But I got a pretty good deal on this. I mean, it hasn't been shot that much. I mean, this gun's like brand new. It's got a few scrapes and scars on it. Down deep, it has it has a little booger right there, where the feed ramp is. That's natural. That's going to happen. But overall, because of the barrel, the way the barrel's been worn, and, there's a little touches of holster wear I can see on there. But other than that, I mean, the gun is still tight. I mean, let me show you. This little toggle right here, when I first got the gun, that toggle is still tight in there. I can barely move it. I mean, I can't get that out, without really kind of, pushing it past a certain point, because it's still new. It hasn't even been broke in that way. So, I mean, this gun has had very little use, very little. So I'm kind of excited to see how it's going to shoot. I haven't went out and shot it yet, but I have a feeling that it's going to be okay. I'm going to have to, press it out there. But, so I'm kind of excited about that. So, bottom line is that I've got a bunch of 9mm. I've got it already loaded. I've got, a couple thousand rounds of it already loaded. This came with 2 magazines, and to tell you the truth, guys, I walked out the door. All I paid for this was $450. Out the door. Boom. That was it. Anyway, so I wanted to go ahead and, kind of expand on that whole thing about not judging a book by its cover. Just because it's a used gun doesn't mean that it's by any means that it's not a good gun or shoot like new. You got to know what to look for. The one thing is the trigger quality, checking the hood, make sure that the hood on the top of the chamber is tight, checking the slide for rattle, running it back and forth, feeling if there's any hitches or anything like that on the slide and the frame. That's all part of it. And the reason why I want to say judging a book by its cover, one of the most accurate pistols I have, I mean, one of the most, boom, Smith & Wesson Model 10. It's ugly, it's a brute, it's got a heavy barrel, and believe it or not, guys, this is an import. I mean, it was imported. This pistol actually came from Israel and was sold to the IDF and back in the 80s. And they used these pistols for quite some time for police and Air Force, military use. And as time went on, they decided to upgrade their weapons. So they just went ahead and sold these out as auction lots, and they were bought here in the United States. But this pistol right here, it's a tack driver. I mean, it's all Smith & Wesson. I mean, you know, that thing's made like a Swiss watch. This gun has had very little use in the way of shooting. This gun is still tight. It may not look, you know, new, but I'll tell you one thing. This thing will put them right where you aim. Man, I'll tell you what. Fortune Cookie out there will back me up on this. What guys used to do with these Smith & Wesson Model 10 fixed sight models is that they would go ahead and buy the Bomar rib, and they'd put the Bomar rib with the winged front sight on it and the adjustable rear sight, and they'd shoot these in PPC matches, and they would win with just a stock gun. That's how good these Smiths, you know, Smith & Wessons are. They're freaking awesome. Very good deal. I got this for $200. I paid the extra $40 to have it hand selected because I really didn't want to refinish one. I told the guy, I said, hey man, just pick me out one that's still in good shape, and you know, I'll accept that. So he went ahead and picked me out one, and I'll tell you what, you know, like I said, there's little scars on it, you know, from handling and, you know, being passed, you know, in and out of the armory and whatever, you know, wherever you draw your weapon or whatever like that, you know, that you're gonna pack around, you know, the day. But you can't judge a book by its cover, guys. I mean, this gun will shoot. I mean, it shoots X-ring accuracy. I've taken this out, and at 3-inch plates at 50 yards, I've knocked them over just with open sights. I mean, it's an excellent gun. Perfect, you know, in every way. So, that's the meat of the subject. You know, don't judge a book by its cover. Know what you're looking at. Know what you want. And don't let anybody push you into buying something new over something used. If you know what to you know, look for, or if you know a guy that's knowledgeable about guns or whatever, you know, pistols, whatever you're into, take them with you to the the gun store, and look over your guns, you know, that you're interested in. Have them check them out. You know, one thing about salesmen want to sell the gun. Okay, so they're going to tell you everything that you want to hear. They're going to sugarcoat everything. Okay, so basically, you know, you're going to eat what's sweet right there instead of, you know, eating something that's healthy for you. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, you got to balance that out when you're looking into the gun case on anything that you're going to buy in a gun store. So, anyway, that's my take on that, and I'll tell you what, if you have a chance to get a Smith & Wesson Model 10, excellent gun, excellent pistol, great pistol for, you know, home defense, target shooting, packing around up there in the woods or whatever. You know, you don't have any sights to worry about. Again, I'm not really a big fan of fixed sights. Fixed sights do have their purpose. It just so happens this one shoots dead on. I mean, it's great. So anyway, that's my video, and this is Thor's Axe, and I'm signing out. Okay?